This video is about journaling. This is probably one of my most favorite topics because, like all of these things I'm talking about, I'm going to tell you how important they are, but it's probably because it's what my heart is drawn to and what my soul is guiding me towards. But journaling is probably the most important thing that you can do besides following your intuition and everything's important, and giving thanks. Giving thanks, I think, is everything. You should always be thankful. But journaling is a tool that will help you with that. So I have different kinds of journals here. We have our daily planner. You can get this at the dollar store for a couple dollars, but especially if you're an entrepreneur or an adult, you need a planner. You can use your phone too, but what if your phone dies? You can write all your bills, what you're making for the month, what your schedules are. We need to be organized because we're bossing up, right? We're leveling up. So that's one way. And then I even use, another way is super fun little sticky notes. And I use these to mark pages in my book. I have my bills in here. I have my eating plan, my exercise plan, my goals for the month and the year. It's never ending. And once you start, you're going to want to keep this journal so you can keep track of everything. You can get fun little pins with a little bag. It says follow your dreams. They can be scented or colored. You can get markers. You can buy fun journals. Somebody had bought this one for me a while back, but it says do what you love and love what you do. Has a little clipboard, which I really like. Or you can get a notebook, college ruled, for $1. So one of my most recent favorites is I got this package of white paper for $1 at the dollar store, and I love this because I can write my things down and then spread them out and look, because I have so many ideas and I do so many things that, you could call it scattered, but there's a fine line between insanity and genius, right? And when you're creative and you're tapping into source, the more you tap in, the more infinite your ideas are, literally. But your soul is always guiding you and just telling you what you need to know at the time. And it might not make sense in the moment. It just looked fun. I wanted this paper. But then I realized when I'm writing my courses and these things that I think would help, I write it down, I put it out, and I see what fits best in what area. I talk about finances, I do budgeting and my credit, and I'm working to buy a house. So there's all these notes that I want to keep, and I'm always learning because I want to heal and I want to grow. And it's just who I am. So I believe that's the way we change. And you can change more easily if you write everything down. It gives you a ledger. And there's other ways that we can journal and write things, and we're going to talk about that today. So, number one, like I said in my last video, write it real. Spelling and writing things out is one of the most powerful things you can do, especially writing your manifestations. When you write it as it is, it will come into being. It's like creating a journal or a vision board, which you've heard of that, right? It's in pictures. You can write down the things that you want and burn the piece of paper, and it helps release it. There's all these different practices that we've kind of heard about as we take this spiritual journey. I'm sure you've heard about burning paper, but if you haven't, you can write down things you want to release or let go of. Sometimes things that we want a lot will take over our mental capacity and kind of get us all confused. And that's when you just burn the paper and then you try to focus on other things. Invest your time in yourself, typically, bettering yourself, trying to be the person that you dream yourself of being, and everything kind of frees itself up. The other reason why I really love journaling, I like to call myself an energetic scientist. I like to I write, where I'm at, how I'm feeling. I'll write letters to people. I just really want to see where I'm at the time, what's going on in my life, how my thoughts are, what I'm eating, and correlate it. And the other thing is You can write down your hypothesis, you guess what's going to happen. Sometimes I'll write down, I'll get visions or ideas like, oh, I think this is going to happen by this time. And I'll write it in my planner, or I'll write it in my journal, and I'll look back and I'll see. Then you can also look back and see your accomplishments. And that's something that we really need to keep more track of, is not the things that we're bad at and that we mess up at. We list those in our head every single moment of the day, I'm sure. And I feel like our thoughts are more rampant nowadays, which journaling will really help you get those thoughts out. So really, it's important to get the negative out, to get the thoughts out, the things that are running your mind and your heart wild. But then let those things go. Know that they're there, get them out, but then look back at the things, like writing what you're thankful for. Look back at the things that you really love. Along with the getting out, there's a process called brain dumping, and I encourage you to try this, but set your timer for 1 to 3 minutes and really just write. Just get everything out. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter if it's random. Just write everything out and get everything that's going on in your mind on paper. You can then burn that paper. You can see where your thoughts are, how you're feeling. Compare it to how your day's panning out. And you'll really start to see that your mood and your emotions affect your reality. And when you start to write down things that you want in the way that you already have them, like we talked about yesterday, then you can start to manifest those things. Sometimes you can just write lists. I like to make lists of things I need to buy, or my groceries, or why not just write the things that you get on a typical basis, and then you never have to think about it again? Because really the human mind is only capable of making so many decisions in a day, and I hear it's a really low number. So it's like, you want to make life easy. We want it to flow and to be joyful. And I don't know about you, but the more big your life gets, the more entrepreneurship that you go for, the more businesses you want, the more you need to write things down, because there's so much to remember. I clean houses. I have to write down, take notes of, what they like, what they don't like, where their address is. There's so many moving parts. Another good tool is, if you just like to use your phone, it's called Google Docs, and it's free. And I really love Google Docs because I can copy and paste things. I can talk text into the document, and I can tell a story, and I can even read off a paper. I'm a writer. I'm working on books and recipe books, and I'm just an artist to my core, and I believe everything is an art, really. And I just want to take notes and to watch the progression. And the other thing is, when you write it all down, then you can go back and edit it. One of the coolest things I heard about with writing, if you are a writer, if you want to write copy or just poems even, write it rude, and then go back and edit all the unnecessary words like this and the things that you really don't need. If you don't need the word, you can cut it out, and you can make your message much stronger. Most people have a short attention span, so we have to keep things simple and to the point. That's why videos can be hard, because you have to write what you're going to say, but then what if you think about something, and then it's nerve-wracking. Public speaking is one of the scariest things, right? So journaling will help you get everything clear. Write it out. You can draw pictures. I love the sticky notes because you can leave yourself little messages throughout the house, positive things or things you want to remember. You can even put it on your front door, in your car. There are so many ways that we can figure out to just make life easier. But for sure, just write things down. Just start writing your feelings. Write letters to people, even if you never send them. Write letters to yourself. Write a letter to the old you or to the future you. Or write a letter in the sense of, if you already created your dream, how would you feel? What would you have? Write the letter from the standpoint of seeing yourself in that position. What would it be like? Then you can really start to edit it, just like your life, and take out the things that you don't need. And build from that and grow into a life that you really love. And truly, I believe we're here to enjoy life, to be happy. And how can we, if we're just in our life and the mess and the storm, living by default? I truly believe that we think life sometimes is happening to us, but we are here to create our life, and that we can mold it any way we want just by controlling our emotions and our thoughts and questioning the things that we believe and wondering, it might be true, but is it helpful and is it really serving us? And we need to always weed through, the garden of our mind and make sure that there's not any bad apples or weeds that might be, ruining your harvest. So it's really up to us to take control of our life and to make the changes that we see fit. But if we don't see our life clearly, how can we make those changes? So this is a great way, journaling, especially throughout your life. You're going to meet people and you're going to get new lessons, and there's just so much that we're going to learn along the way. And if you want to learn magic and energy or how to read tarot, I'm going to tell you right now, there are 76, sometimes 78 cards in a tarot deck, and each of them has very specific meanings, and there's so many different aspects, and we're going to talk about that. But for example, cups mean emotions and represent water. So, and once you start to take these notes and really become a student of life, you'll see how everything fits together and everything's a puzzle. And we're all working together to create this beautiful tapestry. And I believe that we can enjoy that and we can love one another, but we have to do the work. We have to heal and transform ourselves. Write the things down that we're working on. Watch ourselves grow. Give ourselves encouragement. Be positive, and it's much easier when you just get it all out and take notes. So journaling is the key to getting clear on your life, to spirituality, to seeing, where you are and where you want to go, and making those things clear. And life will continue to give you contrasting things to help you get clear on what you really want in your life. And this will be a great tool to help you. I encourage everybody to get a journal, no matter how it looks. And, it's not going to be your last journal, but every morning, write the things you're thankful for. Write how you're feeling before bed. Read those things you're thankful for. Write more things you're thankful for. Write a letter to somebody that you want to get something off your chest, or, to your family, or to your kids, or to your pets. It doesn't matter. As long as you're getting those emotions expressed, because what we resist persists. And the more we push it down, the more toxic it gets. And that darkness needs to come out, because it's just light looking for more love. Darkness is only the absence of light. And when we pinch ourselves off from that love and that source of infinite abundance, that we were talking about in the last video, we feel heavy and angst and anxiety. And with everything going on in the world today, we're going to pick up on that and feel it even stronger. So we need to get clear on who we are and what we're doing, so we know what thoughts are ours and what we're feeling, and if we're just soaking up emotions around us or if they're really in fact ours. And then we can assess how to bring more light into that and into our lives, and to heal ourselves so the world can begin to heal. Because one person who's in alignment will affect millions who are not. And the more we can vibrate at that level of love and neutrality, the more we can pick up the people around us just by our vibe. And that's what Jesus did. He lived by example. He saw everybody as perfect, whole, and complete. And he never really tried to fix anybody or make anybody do anything. That was, the church, and we'll go into that another time. But, God is love, and we are God. We are made in God's image, but God lives within us. So why would we be separate? So bring that higher self down into your body and decide how your higher self looks, or your best self, or your soul, and act from that place. It is possible. Your life will just unfold like magic. Everything you want, whether it's a castle or a button, you can create it, and it is meant to be yours, and that's what we're here for. So write it real, be a scientist, have fun with it. You can be silly, just enjoy the ride, because none of us get out of this alive. So I hope that you get yourself a journal and take this seriously, but have fun, because it's your life and it's your choice. And I love you. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.